Hello, friends. So let's do a sound effect for a bet. So here's the bet. This is not my asset. This is the asset from Monopixel Art. You can find it on itch.io. So go there, support the guy. It's awesome here the pixel art that he does or she, I don't know, does, and yeah, it's great. Take a look. So yeah, over here, it's hard to tell exactly the approach because you can do the sound effects in 1,000 different ways. You can do it in a realistic way, you can do it in a cartoonish way, you can do it in a funny way. I don't know. You can do it in a different cinematic way. You can do it in a lot of different approaches. Here we don't have a context, so I will do something that I think might be useful for creatures that fly. So what you normally would want is some kind of swoosh, for the wings, and you can add some clothes, from Foley that can like be the texture that will give the organic feel from that. And from there you can add layers for whatever context you need. If there is cartoonish, you can add that, swing, 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 and stuff like that. If that's cinematic, you can add a lot of reverb and stuff like that. But let's go with the simple one that can be useful for a lot of creatures. And the sound effects are going to be using here, they were recorded from me in some point in my life, or do it by me in some point in my life as well with synthesizers. And you can grab the package right here in the description. So yeah, first thing I want to do is take a look at the animation. So yeah, he's just flying in the idle right now. I will add something to start. I guess we kind of need a swoosh for the first song, and this is a software called Basehead. It has a free version, a very useful one. You can use that to organize your sound effects. I think it's great. And over here, here, organic. So organic would sound great because we are going a more realistic, obvious way of what's happening. Yeah, I like this too. Let's just kind of mark the time and see if your brain accepts this as the texture to this, so nice. And over here there's another, so I will interpolate. Is that the word? I will use the two sounds over here, like one and then another, one and then another. You help me find the right word for that. Yeah, so this one. Let's see if, yeah, we have like another one before it gets the hit sound effects, the hit animation, sorry. So let's see how it went. Yeah, I mean, it is okay to start. It kind of a little bit, I don't know, too much maybe for the size of the creature. But you can do situations like that, you can, there is a thousand ways to fix the same problem. But you can try like cut down a little bit of the frequencies, so it sounds a little bit less aggressive. Yeah, I already like it a little bit more. And it's also a little bit long, I guess, for the time of the animation, so I'll just pitch it up a bit, not too much. Yep, and these two over here, as you can see, let me add loudness meter over here. Gains, loudness meter. Yeah, so take a look. Yeah, it was not supposed to do that. Okay. Yeah, so normally you want them to don't have a very big difference in picking. So let's say one is the picking minus 9.9 and the other one is minus 11. Try to make them like the same, because if you're gonna interpolate between these two sound effects in the game, you can have problems with the mix. So try to make them the same level approximately and normally minus 6 dB or something like that for sound effects. You can play around with mixing in Fmod, do some dynamic stuff, but try to use a general rule for your game. So I saw that a lot of sound designers use minus 6, so you can go with that. Just grab your fill loudness meter and go there. Yeah, so continuing here, I like this. Maybe I will just drop the pitch, like, I don't know, -2 might be what we're looking for. Yep, I like this one a little, much more. Okay, what you can still add here. So as we are going for a more realistic approach, we can add some sort of clothes, like, let me grab over here the sound effect. Since it's my sound effects, I pretty much know what am I looking for, but if you don't, you can read the stuff over here. I gonna make a better naming convention or work on that. I'm not really proud of what we have over here, but it's you can find yourself. Yeah, so see, like this one, of course, this is too much for our bet. It's a lot, but we can grab just a small portion of the sound. I don't know. I'm gonna try like this last thing over here. Let's see if this is more or less what you're looking for. Oh, I kinda like it. Yeah. Let's find another one to interpolate with the other one. See, this thing over here is something that I like. Yeah, so this one right there in the middle, it's something that I believe it's going to work. So let's grab this one and let's put this other one over here and bam, yep. So now grab this one, put this one over here, and then this one, put this one over here, and you pray to God that it works. Let's go. We have some sound effects. Also, it's a little bit too much for the... I mean, it says mock creature, you don't want it too much, so we'll just pitch it up a bit and turn down the volume. Yeah. This one over here is not really matching. No. Oh my god. I destroyed everything. I destroyed the entire package and destroyed the Ableton and everything crash. Yeah. Ha! Yep. Yeah, so guys, this kind of work, depends on the game, depends on what you're doing. Here's a few tips. So you can grab this tool and put some sort of EQ over here, and as you can see, we don't have a lot of high ends over there. You can add some high ends if you think that works for your game. And like I said, it depends on the style. So if you're going for a cartoonish style, you may add some cartoon samples. If you're going for a cinematic style, you can add some cinematic samples and stuff like that. But it's hard to predict where exactly we're going to use this bet to arrange a very different all ranges over here. So I guess what I would say is, if you're doing a flying creature, try to grab a swoosh, whoosh if that's a big creature, and some clothes for the wings. So you can have like t-shirts and just go like that in the microphone. Also jackets worked great. Jackets, is that how you say? Works great. And also some paints also works great. I will leave a few samples here sounding so you guys know what I'm talking about. And of course, for the implementation, it depends on what you were doing and what engine you were using. But if you're in Unity, you can just drag animation event over here, and then on your prefab you create a controller, and on that controller, every time that animation happens, it would stop whatever is playing and then playing the one shot over here. I can do an entire video just about implementation. I can't cover everything here. It's not exactly the topic of this video. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful in any way. And please leave a like, subscribe, and if you're interested in buying the sound effects I'm going to be using here, it's on the link in the description. Bye bye.